Welcome to Roadmap to 1 Million. My name is Stacey Zeal, and if you're looking to make more money, gain your time back, and rapidly grow your visibility so that you can impact way more people with your brilliance, you're in the right place. This podcast is your one-stop shop for turning your online business dreams into a reality. My main goal is to give women entrepreneurs just like you the marketing strategies, guidance, and expert insights you need to hit that $1 million milestone and beyond. Whether you're a coach, a consultant, or an online brand that wants to make a big impact, Roadmap to 1 Million gives you the actionable strategies and inspiration you need so that you can implement right away, no fluff, no fuss. So CEO, are you ready to buckle up and accelerate your growth? Be sure to follow the show and let's dive in. Get ready to uncover your roadmap to 1 million. Hey there, fellow entrepreneurs. Are you doing all the things but hit a revenue ceiling? You're building an audience, you're creating content and making sales, but you feel like something is holding you back from your next milestone. If that sounds like you, it's time to take our What's Your Missing Marketing Link quiz, your go-to tool to identify what's missing from your marketing strategy that might be holding back your business growth. Whether it's fixing your funnel or diversifying your efforts, this quiz will pinpoint those marketing missteps and guide you to success. Take the quiz today and uncover the missing link in your path to 7 figures and beyond. So head over to staceyzeal.co/quiz because success begins with identifying and fixing those mistakes. So don't miss out. Your business deserves to have the impact you desire. Visit staceyzeal.co/quiz. That's STACYZEAL.co/quiz to get a detailed report and the resources you need to help you grow. All right, let's jump back into the episode. All right. Hello. Welcome back to the Roadmap to 1 Million podcast. My name is Stacey and I am your host, and I am the CEO of Stacey Zeal & Co., which is an online business that helps you to protect your online business. We help online service providers and coaches take their business to the next level by layering their organic marketing with Facebook and Instagram ads. And so if you are someone who owns an online business, you're looking to take things to the next level, you definitely want to make sure you're following the show and also make sure you share it with a friend. We come out with new episodes every week. You do not want to miss all this great marketing knowledge because I love to be able to share it with you, and I love to be able to share it with people out there who need this kind of information, right? A lot of businesses go out, a lot of people go out of business because they don't have right cash. Cash comes from leads, right? Leads comes from marketing, right? And being able to close those leads and stuff like that and sales and that kind of stuff. But we want to make sure that you are around for the long haul. So if you are someone who is thinking about hiring an ad agency or wondering if the one you have is the one that you should keep, let's dive into how to make that best decision for your business, right? So I am going to walk you through some key things to look for, some red flags to avoid, and how, having a combination of that leadership that you need and that strategic mindset that you need, as well as ads management all under one roof, like at our agency, and be the best solution for your long-term growth. So let's talk about some, common agency pitfalls and how to avoid them. So when I started my business, we were originally just an ad agency that just focused on Facebook and Instagram ads. And I noticed that clients also had a messaging problem or a funnel problem, right? They had other things that were going on that would impact the ads that needed attention. And so they thought that just running ads just meant they could stop and pull back on organic marketing, or it just meant, they thought that they were just going to lean into ads altogether. So then we shifted to our fractional CMO focused agency where we led on strategy. And however, all of our clients were coming to us and they were also running ads. And so I was just like, okay, now that we are getting, our clients are also running ads, we are the experts. So let's take that. And so now our agency is structured, or our company is structured in a way that combines both of them, right? You get a fractional CMO and you get an ads team on with you. And I'm not saying that all agencies are structured like this. But what I'm saying is that when you're looking at an agency and when you're thinking about the agencies that you want to hire, you want to make sure that they are also invested in the other types of marketing that you're doing, because all of this stuff fits together. Like ads impact email impacts ads performance, right? Sales pages matter. All of these different, there are a lot of different pieces that are involved in the success of a Facebook ad that need attention, right? You can have a fantastic ad on Facebook and somebody can help you to design a really, really great one that brings in tons of leads. But if your email sequence is not converting them, you're not going to see any sales. You're not going to see an ROI. If, the copy on your landing page is not good, then that's going to impact your ads, right? That's going to impact the conversion rate and the amount of people that get into your pipeline. So you have to make sure that you are looking for someone who can look at more than just will drive traffic to your page or will drive traffic to whatever you want us to drive traffic to. And so some common agency pitfalls: unmet ROI expectations, right? Like, so a lot of times people chase agency because they are not getting an ROI on the particular, campaigns that they're running. And that's perfectly okay, right? Like, if you are running some campaigns, you give it some time, you tested some things, and you're just seeing that, hey, we're just not getting an ROI on this. And, then you definitely want to make sure you're considering, like, hey, either jumping to a new agency or, maybe bringing it in-house and doing it yourself. That's definitely something that you can do. And another thing that you want to look out for is just that lack of strategic oversight, right? So again, just executing ads is not enough. You have to make sure that you're looking at the funnel and the messaging and the sales page and the emails and things like that, right? I'm not saying that they have to be the person that writes that stuff for you. And I'm not saying that they have to necessarily be full service in the sense that they could do all of your organic marketing, which is a route you can go, right? You can go that route. But you just want to make sure that there is some strategy behind what you're doing, right? Or there's some strategy and some data behind why they decided to put that particular strategy in place for your business. Because honestly, like, if your organic marketing strategy and your ad strategy are not aligned and not working together, you're not going to see success, right? So you have to make sure that they are both on the same page, whether you hire out your organic marketing and hire out your ads to separate people, or you keep them in the same place. You want to make sure that all of your marketing team is aligned on what needs to be done and where we're trying to get to. So that way the ads team can build campaigns that are going to, align with what we're doing on organic, and organic knows what paid is doing and where they're driving traffic to. So that way organic can play its role of warming people up, engaging those people, having conversations and building relationships. And so here are some questions to ask a new agency and some red flags to avoid. So when you're vetting an agency, here are some things that you need to ask them. You want to ask them what their area of specialization, like, what is your area of specialization? And this can mean a couple of different things. This can mean the types of clients that they work with, right? The area in which, the target audience that they serve. That could be a specialization. Maybe they primarily serve lawyers and you're a lawyer. Maybe they primarily serve people with memberships and you have a membership, right? Or it could also be, do they specialize in the types of ads that I am want to run? So everybody that runs ads does not know how to run ads on every platform, right? And I've run ads on a lot of different social platforms. And so I can tell you there are nuances and differences between the different channels. Ads that convert on TikTok and ads that convert on Facebook and Instagram are not the same, right? I've run ads on both. I've run the same creative on both. Okay. So you have to understand that there are differences and nuances in the channels, especially like if you think about the way, LinkedIn's behavior versus a Facebook or versus TikTok. They all are different. Even I would say even Google ads versus Facebook ads operate differently. I had a client who came to me. I was working with her on her organic strategy. This is before we were an ad agency. And we were responsible for her Facebook and Instagram page. And she was killing it on Facebook and Instagram, getting lots of, engagement and visibility, all that kind of good stuff. And I was just like, why are your ads not working? Like, your ads should be working. But she had already had an ad agency. She had an ad agency that was doing her ads, right? It was an agency. They were doing Google ads and they were doing her Facebook ads. They specialized in Google ads, right? So they, they were doing their thing on Google, but Facebook ads were just kind of, breaking even or losing money. And I was just like, that's crazy, because we should be, 2-3xing our money on Facebook and Instagram ads, right? And very specific product, very specific niche. So it should have been killing it. And so what I did was I went in and I looked and I took a look at, how things were set up, the strategy behind it, all that kind of stuff. And at the time I was working at Zappos, so I knew what I was doing. And so I was looking around and I'm just like, these aren't set up right. Right. Or, the strategy that they're using is kind of like how they're selling Google ads. Whereas Google ads are keyword based, right? And as with Google, it's about keywords and budget, right? Do you have the right are you targeting the right keywords? And do you have enough money in the pot to be able to beat out a legal Zoom, right? Fighting for your audience, or a Zappos fighting for your audience, right? So you want to keep those kinds of things in mind. And then, after auditing, they were able to get like a 5x return on their money, right? Because that shifted the strategy. It had to be more on a social platform. It had to be, you have to create ads on Facebook and Instagram, have to operate like social media, right? It has to look like it belongs on social media. It can't look like it belongs on TikTok, right? Or it can't look like it, belongs on a TV commercial or like a Hulu commercial, right? They're different. And so then another question, so that's the first question is, what is your area of specialization? You want to make sure that they specialize in, working with companies that are like you, in the same stage as you, have similar goals as you, right? Like, or, are on the same channels that you are looking to run on. The second question you want to ask is, how do you align ad campaigns with broader business goals? And this question is going to help you to get to what I was talking about earlier, in that your marketing needs to all be working together in order for it to be successful. And so are they just an ad agency that's going to grow your list and they're just going to run traffic to some lead magnets and that's it? And that's where their help stops? Or are they actually going to integrate with your business and see, like, how is email impacting the ads? How is organic social? What do they have going on? Which is why, again, when we come to the table as a fractional CMO, we're looking at all that stuff, because it's not just about the ads. It's about the bigger picture, right? You want to grow your business. In order for you to grow your business, all cylinders have to be firing in the same direction. Everything has to be connected. If you could picture like a tire or like a wheel, everything meets in the middle, right? Everything, spokes out, but they have to meet in the middle, right? And you have to make sure your marketing is doing that. The third vetting question, and the last vetting question I'm going to give you is, can you share specific results or case studies relevant to my industry, right? And this is something that you want to ask anybody that you're hiring, but agencies, typically have case studies. We actually just put our case study page up, last month, right? And it's because we were collecting them and I was like, we have them, but we just need somewhere to put these, right? But either way, you should be able to ask for them because we have them. We just didn't have them displayed. But so either way, so you should be able to either go through their website, look at the case studies that they've worked with, see if you can find somebody who was in a similar spot as you, right? See what kind of results they got. And of course, case studies and specific examples, they are created to show you the best, right? They're created to show you somebody's best work and what they've really done. So it's okay if you're like, hey, can I talk to one of your clients that are not in your case studies? Or, they probably are going to give you a really good client anyway. So take that with a grain of salt, right? But either way, it's important to kind of see where were people at, where were they trying to get to, what are the things that this agency did, and what was the result, right? That's what you want to know. And so those are the three vetting questions. So 1, what's your area of specialization? 2, how do you align ad campaigns with the broader business goals? And 3, can you share specific results or case studies relevant to my industry or your niche or your type of business? And so let's talk about some red flags to avoid when, hiring an ad agency. So agencies without a clear specialty, especially if you're focusing on a platform like Facebook, or offering overly broad services with little demonstrated expertise, right? So I am very much a person that believes that you're a jack of all trades, a master of none. And so you have agencies out there that say that they can serve everybody, right? They work with all different types of clients in all different industries. Or you have these agencies that are like, hey, we specialize in Facebook and Instagram and TikTok and Twitter and Pinterest and YouTube and Google and LinkedIn, right? And we can do everything. And we also are email marketing specialists. We run, podcasts, right? So that's a lot. something in this, specialty or in these area of services are not going to perform as better as the other one. And I don't want it to be the area that I want, right? I always joke, I'm like, if there's a SaaS company out there that has email and social scheduling and texting, I'm telling you, the texting part doesn't work really well. Or the email marketing is very limited, right? The social media scheduling is fantastic, but the texting and the emails are terrible, right? And so I always think about that when I think about service providers. I'm always looking for somebody who's a specialist, especially if you know that Facebook and Instagram convert for you, right? So before you hire an agency, you should know what works for your business, because then that helps you when you're having these conversations of, before you get to the strategy table, before you hire somebody, you can actually try to figure out, like, based on what my plan is, does this person align with where I'm with my plan, right? Do they have demonstrated expertise in this particular area, like memberships, for example? We've run, had a variety of clients that have had memberships, and we understand how to sell memberships, and we understand how to sell courses. We understand how to sell, these different types of things. And so that's what we focus on, right? That's what we specialize in. That's the area that we double down in. And same thing with Facebook ads, right? We double down in Facebook and Instagram ads because although I've told you I've run ads on all these different platforms, Facebook and Instagram the platform that I know the best. It's the platform that gets the best results for the most amount of people. And it's a platform that I really like and that I use. And my clients are mostly using Facebook and Instagram to grow their businesses. So it makes sense for us to be, us to specialize in Facebook and Instagram ads. Not to mention, I've generated $150 million with Facebook and Instagram ads for, top brands. And so I know that platform inside and out. And so we specialize, although we are fractional CMOs, meaning that we can see all the different pieces of your marketing and how everything needs to fit together. Because my background, I remember when I started in marketing, digital marketing was a specialization, and saying you were a digital marketer meant you knew SEO and how to build websites, and you knew email, you knew social. Right. And so, but now we're in a place where everybody has a really specific specialization. So if you are a business that sees success on Facebook and Instagram organically, you want to make sure that the agency that you hire specifically knows Facebook and Instagram inside and out, right? They know how that platform works organically as well as how it works on advertising. So that way you can get the best, you can get somebody who specializes in your area of expertise, right? Or the area that you specifically need. Okay. And so those are some red flags, right? So think about those kinds of things. Look out for people who are trying to do everything, who are trying to do too much. Find the person who specializes in what you need and what you're seeing as successful. Okay. So let's also talk about setting realistic expectations for ad campaign success. Because a lot of times people are thinking like, oh, well, how long is it going to take me to get an ROI? What kind of budget do I need to have? And so the way that I approach this conversation is, one, you should have a marketing budget before you go hire an agency, right? Like you should not be going to an agency to have them to help you to determine what your marketing budget is, right? They may be able to help you to allocate your marketing budget better, right? That's their job, is to say, hey, if you're giving me $2,000 a month for Facebook ads, and we want to do some lead generation. We have a webinar coming up in 2 months. We have this, we have that, right? And so they should be able to take that budget and allocate that for you to get you the best ROI. But what I hate to kind of see is that people don't fully understand how much they can afford to spend on marketing, right? You have to do those calculations, and the things that you're looking at are, one, if you have an accountant or a CFO, you definitely want to talk to them about this. But you also want to think about like what are your expenses? How much money are you making? What's the profit? Like, have you taken out money to pay yourself? What other kind of like taxes, all that kind of stuff, right? Once all that stuff comes off the table, what's left? Right? What's left to reinvest into the business? Because that's going to help you to determine what level of agency you can afford. And it helps you to understand, like, if your marketing budget is $5,000 a month, you need to find you an agency that's going to charge you, $3,000 or less, somewhere probably between $2,000 to $3,000, so that you have that extra $2,000 to put back into your ads. Because then that person or that agency can try to turn that $2,000 into three or four times your money. And that way you're recouping the entire $5,000, but then you're also making a profit on top of that, right? So if I can, if you're giving me $2,000 and I can 3x your money, you're making an extra $1,000 on it, right? And and I'm just using just easy estimates, right? But that's what you got to think about, is like, you need to sit down and have an actual marketing budget. And the thing is, like, if you don't have a marketing budget before you approach your agency, you're really not going to understand what it's going to take to get you there. Okay, so definitely make sure you are setting realistic budget, and honestly, a realistic time frame for success. One thing I have to stress to service providers is that your sales cycle is significantly longer than an e-commerce brand, right? Like when I'm running ads for e-commerce brands like Zappos and all these other kinds of brands I've run for, their sales cycle is a day. 24 hours is typically what a typical sales cycle is. It's either I want the shoes or I don't, right? I see the ad on Facebook. It's about back to school. Oh, I need to go buy my kids some back to school stuff. Let me go jump on there. Boom. Transaction happens within 24 hours, right? Service providers typically are transactions, even if you're selling memberships, courses, those kinds of things. That type of stuff tends to take a little bit longer because you got to build trust, right? People have to trust that you can get them the result. They have to trust that they can get themselves the result by following your instruction, right? So there's a lot of trust that needs to be built. And so you want to think about how long does it typically take somebody to convert this in your pipeline? And these are things that you can go and look at your, how long have people been on your email list before they bought from you? How long have people, been sat in your, your CRM before they actually went and, booked that call or made that call or, something like that, right? So understand what your sales cycle is. How long does it take for people to buy from you on average, right? Because, some people take longer than others. Some people, you're going to get people that are like, oh, I'm ready to sign up right away, right? But you get people at different stages, but you want to have an average in mind. So if I know it takes on average 3 months for somebody to convert after they come in my world, I'm not expecting an ROI after the first week or two. Right. I know that I am running ads for the long term. I'm running ads so that way that person that's going to convert in 3 months gets in my pipeline today, not tomorrow, not 2 weeks from now, and not a month from now, right? Or not 3 months from now, right? They're getting into my pipeline right now, and I'm able to start to warm them up and see where they're at in 3 months, right? So that's what you want to be thinking about when you're thinking about timelines of when you're going to get your ROI back. I always tell my clients the first 30 days we're testing. We're, trying to figure out what are our baselines? What is our average cost per lead? Which lead magnets are converting the best? How is the email sequence doing as we gotten people in it, right? And in that, we're not blowing out the budget right away, right? You give me a $2,000 budget, we're going to spend about $1,000 of that on testing to establish our KPIs. To establish our baselines and figure out where we're at. So that way, then we can see, oh, this is where we're seeing success over here in this campaign, whereas this campaign's not performing. Let's allocate more budget here, or let's figure out how we can, take this campaign and make it perform better, right? So maybe we test different audiences. Maybe we take the top performing creative and, add some different kind of creative overlays or something like that, right? We make some differences. We add some video in, right? So those are the kinds of things that you need to be thinking about. And when you're working with an expert, like an agency or, an agency that has experts and a fractional CMO, that's the kind of expertise you get to bring to your business. So I've talked about what you look for when you're hiring a new agency, right? Let's talk about how to vet the current agency that you're with. And so signs it might be time for a change. One, are they delivering a meaningful ROI, or are you just breaking even, right? Because breaking even is not the goal of advertising, right? Like the goal is not to put $1 in and get $1 back, because what's the point? The point is to put $1 in and get $5 back, or to be able to put $1 in and get, $3 back down the line. And so you have to think about, are you getting a meaningful ROI on what you're putting out, right? Or are you just breaking even? Another thing you want to think about is, do you feel they are strategically guiding your campaigns, or are they just setting and forgetting them? I had the instance when I was working at, some of the bigger brands that I've worked with, and we had an ad agency. And I started to notice, I'm like, these campaigns are not targeting the right people, right? This targeting is all off. We had Prada ads that are targeting Skechers, people who like Skechers, right? That doesn't work, right? And that we found that out because me, the person who was hired in-house to oversee the agency and also run a little bit of ads myself, my goal was to oversee the agent. The point was to oversee the agency. And when I was taking a look, I realized that, we could just do this ourselves. If they're not doing anything groundbreaking, they're not doing a whole lot of testing and, figuring stuff out. They're just running ads and we're just making some money off of it. But we ended up bringing it all in-house within a year, and I was running it, right? And so then that means, we have a bigger ROI because we're not paying for this, massive agency to do this. But then also it gives us more control, right? Like we're not setting and forgetting them. Somebody's looking at this every single day. Somebody's dedicated to the ads because, if you want to make a lot of money with ads, you want to make $150 million with ads, you need to be looking at them every day. You need to be testing. You need to be optimizing. You're not making changes every single day, but you're looking at them every day and you're seeing what's going on. You're catching patterns. You're catching when ad costs are skyrocketing or when you have creative fatigue, right? So that's how you make all this money. And so you have to make sure that the agency that you're working with is also nimble and actually looking at the ads and making changes and giving you information. Like we tell our clients, like, hey, here's a top performing ad creative, or here's a top performing ad copy. You can take this and post this on social, or change it up a little bit, change the copy up a little bit, and then post it on social, right? So those are the kinds of things. That's the kind of relationship that you want with your ad agency. Other questions to ask is like, how closely are they monitoring and adjusting the campaigns, or how often are they doing that? Are they transparent about results and sharing proactive data, right? And do they seem to understand your industry and target audience, right? These are some questions that you want to ask yourself. And some red flags, again, looking for, and if your agency is doing everything for you, and they're like, hey, we can run your Facebook ads for you, and they're doing great on everything else, but the Facebook ads are lacking, that's a problem, right? Because they might not know what they're doing with Facebook ads. They may be great at organic marketing. They might be great at, creating reels. But when it comes to Facebook, it's not just about taking something off of organic and running it as an ad. Try that. Spent a lot of money trying those things. It does not work, right? Sometimes it works. I won't say never. Sometimes it works. There is definitely a benefit of sharing learnings, but most of the time, ads need to be ads, right? They need to look like they need to be structured in a certain way. They need to have a, clear beginning, middle, end. It has to be actionable. You have to hook people's attention, right? You have to make sure it's not highly produced and not overly crazy looking like it doesn't belong on social. So there's definitely some strategy behind it. And it's not just, hey, this performed well on Instagram. Let's take it and put it on Facebook and run an ad behind it. Or let's boost posts, even worse. Don't boost posts. Boosting posts are a waste of money. And then other red flags you're looking at is lack of regular communication, or if you're unclear on how things are performing, right? You're reporting or not getting updated, you're not getting regular updates about what's going on. Definitely want to make sure that you are looking for those kinds of things. All right. So in conclusion, we talked about a lot today. So we talked about some, red flags to look out for when you're hiring a new agency. I gave you some questions to ask them for a new agency. I helped you to figure out how to set realistic expectations around budget and ROI. And I walked you through some ways to vet your current agency. And so if you are looking to either hire an agency, a new agency you've never worked with one before, or you're looking to hire a new agency and, trying to kind of shift to a different agency, I'm going to tell you about our fractional CMO plus ads management package, which is called SOAR. And so if you want a marketing partner, right, that's going to offer strategic guidance and execution, here's what we have included in SOAR. So you get a growth marketing plan, which is going to help you to, set up the next 90 days of like, what do we need to focus on over the next 90 days? Maybe you have a launch coming up in, 90 days, and we need to figure out what do we need to focus on now, next month, and the following month before the launch. You also get Facebook ads management. So we are doing the copy with our expert copywriter. We have graphics that are designed by graphic designers, and we're actually building and launching and optimizing your campaigns. We're pulling the numbers. We're looking at, how your email sequences are going and stuff like that. We're looking at all of those things that impact the ads. You also are going to get an organic marketing content plan where we're like, hey, here's the plan and here are the things that we need to post over the next 90 days in order to hit our markers, right? We also created a custom AI chatbot for our clients who are like, hey, now that I have the plan, I need help on, writing content. So we set that up for our clients, and then we'll, train it with your brand voice and all those kinds of things. And then you and your team can use it to get, captions, emails, all that kind of good stuff. And then the last thing we do is a comprehensive branding and marketing audit, which essentially is us taking a look at your current web presence and figuring out how do we improve the branding, how do we improve the messaging so we can attract the right people. And so if this sounds like, the support you want in your business, I'd love to talk to you about it. So make sure that you reach out to me, either a sales call, which is going to be linked in the show notes, or you can find me on social, which is also going to be linked in the show notes, and you can DM me and we can start the conversation to figure out what this looks like for us to support you, whether that's through SOAR, whether that's through some of the other kinds of things that we can support our clients with. Definitely reach out. Let's start a conversation and figure out how we can take things to the next level. All right, y'all. I hope that you have enjoyed this episode. If you have, please make sure you share it with somebody, share it on social, post about it, send an email about it, tell somebody to tell somebody. Okay. So I will see y'all on the next episode. Bye. OMG, that episode was packed with gems. Are you ready for more? Head over to stacyzeal.co/podcast to get the show notes and to sign up to get our top 5 podcast episodes to help you streamline your marketing so you can make this your $1 million year. Head over to stacyzeal.co/podcast.